everyone, this is Maggie, and welcome to another YouTube video. Today, as I have been kind of hinting at for years now, I'm finally gonna give you like a proper introduction to my website. I've been advertising it like at the end of every video that I make because it's where I post my stories, my characters, and I'm very passionate about it. So whenever I tell people to go look at my characters, usually I direct them to go to my website. But I never properly explained what it was. So, we're gonna do that today, right now. This video took so long to make because I really wanted to have my website in kind of a presentable format. I've been a little unhappy with how it looked. My personal art style grew, my preferences changed. I decided on a random week I'm gonna redesign my whole website so that then I can properly introduce it to people and it's gonna look really pretty and really cool. And yeah, so that's today's video. We're gonna start right now. So first things first, why would you have your own website? I mean, there's so many social medias out there, some of them specifically made to host stories and characters. Some of the ideas that come to mind could be Toy House or maybe Unveil. Some people use their Tumblrs for that as well because they are very customizable. But listen, nothing has been really giving me the creative liberty that I want to actually do things and make them look the way I want to. Toy House and Tumblr were kind of a first step to do that because they allow you to code your own things, but it wasn't enough. I needed more. So I took it upon myself to learn a little bit of coding, and I just decided, we're gonna make our own website and we're gonna host everything in there. For my website, I hosted over on Neocities.org. You may have heard of this website by now since indieweb is making a massive comeback, with a lot of people getting tired of the usual 3 social media platforms that people use, which is like Twitter, Blue Sky, and Instagram. So a lot of people have been moving over to the indieweb, relearning coding so that they can host their own websites, which is so cool. So yeah, without further ado, let's get started. So this is my profile on Neocities. It's not my website, it's just, the profile of where everything goes on behind the scenes. There's a list of upgrades down here where you can see every time I've updated my website, when it was, what web pages were changed. There's so much to go through. You can see me making comments on my own page and people can respond, like the comments. It's so much fun. It does have a very simple social media aspect to it, just so people know if the website is still being updated and they can kind of talk to each other if need be. But the real fun is in the website itself. So we're gonna open it. We're gonna use a private window because this website works with a lot of interactive things. And for most interactive things to work, you do need to have kind of your cookies cleaned. Since I visit my own website so much, it has memorized all my choices, which sucks. To kind of experience the website as if it was the first time someone was coming through, we're gonna just open it in a private window, like fresh, clean start. So before you even enter the website, I do have a warning page because my website, if you could see any clips of it, it has, again, a lot of bright colors, a lot of blinking and moving images, and some people maybe don't like that, and that's okay. So first things first, we're gonna go over here to enter and we're gonna click it. And we are here. This is the front page of my website. As you can see, there's a lot of links up here in the navigation bar. There's sidebars with a bunch of stuff, so we're gonna go through every single one of them. So first things first, we got the homepage. We have the little hello messages, we have a chat box and a guest book so people can write in cute things and talk to each other. Over here, we have the about page, so you can learn a little more about the person who's making the website. That's me. I have my social medias, some little boxes with my interests, and you have a little plushies and monster cans collection because I do like collecting plushies and monster cans, and I wanted to kind of show it off in a cute way on my website. Here you have the projects, which is everything that I advertise on my videos. For example, you have my original characters here, fandom leftovers, you have all my Deltarune stuff, Bendy OCs, my epic Mika OCs. I will get into these pages later because each one of them is like a different page with characters and for now we're just going over the normal stuff. Over here we have shrines. This is a new thing that I've been working on. So what exactly is a shrine? A shrine is like a web page with a very specific theme, usually from things you are really passionate about. For example, I'm gonna go into my ones here. This one is all about my favorite Pokemon movie, which is Rise of Darkrai. I watched this movie when I was like 7 years old, and it changed me forever. I have been obsessed with it ever since, and that's the reason why Darkrai is like my favorite Pokemon ever. So a shrine is kind of like a collection of images of your thoughts about the thing that you really like. I put in a lot of the merch that I've managed to grab of this guy, some things I would like to have, some songs from the movie that I also really like, and some of the old art I have made for this movie because I'm just so passionate about it. I love it so much. And of course, I have more shrines here. This one is for Silent Hill because I'm also a huge fan of Silent Hill. I love the monsters, I love the music, I love the story, everything. So you know it's here. Then I have this one, which is of my friends. If you have seen my videos, you know that I really like to draw my friends' characters, specifically in the Deltarune side of things. So I decided, you know, since I draw them so much and I'm so obsessed with them, they might as well get a shrine of their own. So here they are. This is Schmuck from Dr. Angel, Sensor from Varland Void, and Tank from Numa. These guys have been my muses for years now, and I owe everything to them. So you know, they get cute little profiles with a bunch of clickable things and drawings and pixel art that I made for them. It's so much fun. Moving on, we have graphics. Graphics is just a little page where I collect a lot of these buttons and GIFs that I really like. I just like to hoard colorful, moving little pictures. I'm obsessed with them. You have a bunch of Pokemon sprites, you have just GIFs I really like, you have stamps. These were really popular around the early DeviantArt days, and then you have these 88 by 31 buttons. These used to be super popular in the indie web, like in the 90s, and with Neocities, they've just gotten a lot more popular again. So I just like to collect them because they are really cute. Coming up, we have commissions. My website is where I host all of my commissions as well. You have things like contents, payment methods, terms of service, all that stuff. Then you have some examples of what I draw, just a bunch of things. And like, again, I couldn't have hosted this the way it is anywhere else. The good thing about learning how to code is that you get to do things the way you want, exactly as you want. It's just, again, creative freedom. You can just do whatever you want. Moving up, we have sitemap. What is this? This is practically a map of every single page on my website. As you can see, there's a lot of things to go through. We're not going to go through all of them, but you know, here they are. Every new page that was created, you know, fairly recently has a little new tag. You have Sam Sings here, for example. I made him in the last video on the channel. You have all my shrines are new. Sitemap is new. You are here. And last but not least, we have credits. Credits is where I try to leave a lot of the links for things that I used on my website. For example, to make the layout of the website, I used Sad Girls Layout Builder. This is like one of the very popular tools to make your own website, where it kind of just gives you a very bare bones template to use on your website that you can later customize whenever you want. If you've been looking at my cursor, it has like this trail of rainbow sparkles. That was also something I got from this one person on Tumblr. The chat box and the guest book are from these links. Light boxes, slideshows, all of this. There's a lot of stuff. Extras is where I kind of give specifications on where this website was tested. For example, it's good to keep track of where I tested my website to see if it looks pretty, you know, on different screens. And then just a bunch of resources for anyone who wants to learn how to code. There's places that will teach you how to code. There's places to get like cool music players. There's places to make cool color gradients for like the borders of your stuff. There is so much to go through. And again, because coding has been around since the internet became public, there's just years upon years, decades of resources to pull through. So that's the very basics of it. Now we're gonna go back home because I want to show you some cool things that I've made recently for my website. First things first, we have Status Cafe. What is this? This is like a little status that you can change on your phone and it displays directly onto your website. So, you know, people can know how you've been. Apparently 1 hour ago, I was really worried about, I should be recording a video, and here I am. Next up is my website button. If you've seen the other buttons that I had collected, this is the one I made myself. If people want to link back to my website to show it to other users, then they can use this little button. This is a box for updates. For example, this is where I list how I redesigned my whole website, how I finally got accepted into Status Cafe, how we have new shrines, and switchable website themes. So we're gonna move over here and we're gonna see exactly what that is. So you see how everything is like purple and rainbow and kind of neon? Maybe you don't like that. That's fair. People have different tastes. So down here, there's a bunch of themes for the website. What does that mean? Do you want to have something more webcore? Maybe like very shiny and bright and blue? You can have it. It's here. Look at it. It's so cool. Do you want to maybe have something still kind of neon, but maybe more rainbow? You have cards, which is a theme built all around these card images that I found on Pinterest. And if you are really obsessed with Deltarune like I am, we also have a theme for Deltarune. Look at that. All the boxes have the cute border and everything. Oh my god. This is one of the latest things that I did for my website because I kept seeing other people make it. And I was so curious about how did they make this? And I learned it. That's the whole thing about coding. You see something, you like it, you go to see if person credited that feature or if they teach you how to do it, and you do it. Next up, this is a little button to join the Discord server if you're fancy that. And you have a little box here that shows my latest YouTube video. At the time, it was the designing Samsung's video, which is doing really well. I'm really happy. And down here, you have this scrolling box of neighbors. What are neighbors? Neighbors are practically mutuals. They are websites you follow and that they follow you back. And to be a good G, to be a good neighbor online, you grab their button and you put it down here so that other people can maybe, go check out their websites. For example, if I click on a button here, I go to somebody's website. And if I want to see this person's neighbors, I can just go over to websites where they have their own neighbors. And you can just spend so much time. Look, there's my button. And you can just go through these buttons and just keep falling into new websites from new people. And you can just keep going forever. So that's like the basic gist of the website done for you. Now we're gonna go to the thing that I advertise the most about my website, which is where I keep all my original characters. So as you can see here in projects I have written, listed below are various in-depth projects I have created, either based off of already existing IPs like games, movies, series, or completely original stories. Some are more well-developed than others, but each one has its own website with its story, characters, facts, and extras. Click their respective logos to know more. And it is exactly as it says on the tin. You can just scroll down, you can click these moving images, and they will take you to another page where all my characters are listed here. For example, I'm gonna go over here to Steve and Gary, they're my babies. I'm gonna click over here on Gary, and the website is going to load his profile. In his profile, obviously, you have like a little image of him, you have information about him. If we go to content, you can see he has a profile, appearance, personality, his story, relationships, trivia, playlist, a gallery. There's a lot of things to go through. There's a lot of little information about him here, his height, his age, his pronouns. You have his personality, you have his past, where he was born, his whole story. You have his relationships with his son Ben and his boyfriend Steve. You even have a playlist for him. You have a little Pinterest board, and you could go down here and see the gallery where I have his reference sheets. I have a lot of illustrations of him, different outfits to put him in. This was baby Gary before he transitioned. He's really pretty. Some more Gary and Steve. Look at them. They're so cute. And there's just a lot to go through. Now, I have one of these profiles for every single one of my characters. For example, if you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to show you Sam Sings. He is one of the most recent characters, so his profile isn't completely finished yet, but you have a lot of things here already. You have his name, you have his age, his height, you have what voice I gave him. This is really cute. You can like click here and it will play his voice. Again, relationships and trivia is kind of empty because I haven't put their stuff yet, but he has a playlist, he has a Pinterest board, and he has a little gallery with his final design and the first drawing I ever made of him. So this is really cool and all, but you know, maybe you want to go see something else. Maybe let's go over to the Bendy Neocities. This is a whole website for my Bendy story. When I was younger, I really liked this game, and I was there as it was coming out in chapters. So, you know, when people weren't sure what the game was going to be about at first, they just started making up their own theories, you know, what's the game like? What are the enemies like? And this project kind of came from that. For example, you have the information about the project, you have characters here, you have extras like the project logo, you have a little banner with the characters, buttons, headers, and a screenshot of all my Bendy OCs back when I still had Amino, back when Amino was still up, Jesus Christ. And if we go to characters and we click a character, you can see that this profile looks a little different. It has different colors and different fonts and even images and stuff like that. Again, the good part about coding is that you get to do everything yourself. You can change things to look exactly the way you want them to, so that you can make things super immersive. For example, if I click here, the border is yellow now, because you know, Bendy was always like in yellow colors and everything. And you have the character's reference sheet, you have his audio log, which was like the voice notes in the game. You have a little banner with all the characters. And these guys are exactly the same way. They all have their own little websites with their own galleries and Pinterest boards and playlists. And there you go. That's my characters. But now, I know what you came here to see, okay? The main sell of my website is my Deltarune stuff. Why? Because I'm completely insane. And Deltarune has been one of my biggest projects yet. This is like a whole alternate universe with different chapters that we can look into. There's like frequently asked questions, there's secrets. So let's pick one to start. For example, the Gary world has existed for long enough, but Stay Up Late is the new stuff with Telly, so I'm gonna show it to you. Of course, for Telly, everything is still kind of small because we're still working on it, but you already have an info page, you have a script that you can read a little bit. There's already the whole plot of how Telly met Tenna and how you as the player would find her, and still a work in progress, so we gotta wait for it a little bit. We have items, which are also still a work in progress, a world map, which is still a work in progress. Hello, Gary. Extras, which we have a few right now. We have little buttons. We have a custom cursor that I made specifically for this website. You can see me using it right now. We have headers. And finally, we go to cast. For the Deltarune characters, I decided to make their profiles very detailed because they are so specific when it comes to how they behave and how they would act in battle, because you know, the whole fact that Deltarune is a game makes you think about, oh, how would this character be like to fight? What life points would they have? What attacks would they have? And that's what this is all about. There's a bunch of sprites for her as well. There's a little quote about her over here. There's a bunch of spoilers here, so we're not gonna go over there, but you can see that there's something highlighted there. That's a link that you can click. What is behind the secret link? I don't know, you're gonna have to go see it. A lot of the story about Telly, you have her relationship with other characters like Tenna, you have a little trivia about her, how she communicates through sign language, how she was based off of like the old pink CRTs that Disney Disney used to make, like the Disney princess ones. You do have her playlist, but you don't have her aesthetic board yet. I should get that fixed. And then you have a gallery. You have her reference sheet, you have her illustration, a bunch of sprites for her. This is what her bedroom would look like. You have a bunch of animated sprites for her. This makes her feel like a character that would be, you know, in game, because you can see her walking around and she can even do sign language. You have a little gif of her moving her hands. You have a little gif of her kicking her feet. It's so cute. She's so cute. I love her so much. And of course, you have a lot of other characters here, like Becky, which is her best friend. You have the evil Lady Ovni, which is like the cartoon villain for their anime world kind of thing. And Lady Ovni is so silly. I love her. Like, look at her. She's just a little alien. She's so cute. So obviously there's a lot to go through. As I said, I'm not gonna go through every single thing here because, you know, to an extent, I do want people to go look at my website because there is just so much to look. I have put so much work into this and it's been so much fun getting to share it with other people, even though coding is kind of a hard thing to sell to people because it looks super complicated and intimidating, but I promise you it is very, very much worth it, especially in an era where the indie web is resurfacing again because a lot of people are getting tired of the same 5 social medias. And I guess to, you know, leave you off on a good note, I'm gonna show you some of the websites that I personally really, really like. As you can see over here in the sites I follow, there's a lot of other really cool, colorful sites that I really like, but you don't have to just see the things that I like. That's exactly the good thing about Neocities. There is so much to go through. All of these are handmade websites by somebody just as passionate about this as I am, and you can see they are all different shapes and different colors. Some of them are rainbow, some of them are black and white, some of them are very like character centric, like mine, like I like to show off my characters. Some of them are very just goofy aesthetic things. They don't have much reason or rhyme because, you know, it's the indie web. You can express yourself however you want. There are so many websites you could go through, and getting into the indie web is something I recommend everyone does because, I mean, look at the amount of creativity here. That's insane. Now, if you are wondering, Maggie, this is all really cool and everything, how do I get started on making my own website and learning how to code? I'm not the best person to be telling you this. I don't know how to teach this because it is something very specific, but what I can do is leave you with good resources. If you go on YouTube and you just look up Neocities tutorial, you will find so many very good tutorials on how to learn coding, how to begin making your own website from people who actually know how to explain this to you, because I promise, oh my god, I'm not the best at teaching this, but I promise you again, coding is something that has been around for such a very long time. The amount of resources out there is tremendous. So, you know, go educate yourself, go learn something new, break free of the annoying same 3 apps you've been using to post your art, and make something truly unique, truly yours. Claim your little corner in the big world wide web. And that is pretty much it. Again, I've been hoping to show off my website properly one day, and since I finally am, you know, finishing a lot of the updates and mechanics that I wanted to do with my own website, I really wanted to show it off because I love how it's looking so far and the amount of work that I have managed to put into this. So I just would really like to show it off, and I finally did, and I'm so happy. That's pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, blah blah blah, YouTube words. If you would like to see some of my art, I know I just spent however long this video is shitting on regular social medias, but I do have them still. These are the ones I'm the most active on if you want to follow me and see my art sometimes. If you would like to see more about my projects, my characters, you can again visit my website. This was the whole thing. Here it is. And if you would like to maybe join the Discord server, you can do it through my website or the link in the the description as well of the YouTube video. We have a bunch of very lovely people here. They're always talking and yapping, and I love them so much. We were just talking about how I needed someone to yell at me to go record a video, and we had a whole little joke. It was so much fun, and you are very much welcome to join if you so fancy. Again, link in the description or on my website. And that is pretty much it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye!